I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the 10-house gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die.
Hello, you beautiful people out there in cyberspace. I'm Joel Blacker, and I'm here to talk to you about astrology. I was thinking of just, talking about the whole zodiac, and to start off with, Aries, because astrology is about time and cycles. Aries is the first. It's the start. It's spirit itself. I think it's consciousness itself, but consciousness directed at the self. Aries is ego. Aries being primal fire. It is spirit itself. It's the first house, and with the first house, the time of day, it is morning, and the time of season is spring. So it's at that time of the cycle where light has risen, and that's where you get Aries from. I mean, arise, the light, the sun, and archetypally the sun represents the ego, or the self, or the soul, or the spirit. It's your core vibration within you. At any moment, any time, everyone has this one resonance within them. Or they're, just combinations of their characters or their thoughts, or, just the song they're singing at one moment of time, I feel. So Aries, first sign, it, being morning and spring, it means go. It has a real kick start attitude with Aries. They're the divine children. They have huge hearts. Many Aries differ because the energies are so extreme. It can go any way. The Aries is unbridled energy. It's like the speed of light. But then when you get into the next sign of Taurus, that light has gone so fast it's now standing still. The speed of light is now stood still, and in Taurus it is the embodiment of physicality. Taurus being fixed earth. It is the foundation, fundamental, physics. It's like rock bottom. It is manifestation itself. It's the physical universe we see, this chemical universe. And from Aries into Taurus, Aries being spirit and Taurus being matter, it's this the sacrificial lamb, and you know, in order to manifest on the physical, our spirits have incarnated into a body, and Taurus is that body. You know, it's Taurus is, I've got to say, very dense. You know, they're very materialistic. Their possessions mean everything to them. They do everything very thoroughly. Compared to the Aries just like can run before he can walk. But you know, the Aries could be more brave when it comes to philosophical thought compared to the Taurus, but the Taurus will take his time and thoroughly go through, you know, with the Taurus, everything must be relevant. Like it likes efficiency. It finds beauty in something's relevance or worth, or its usefulness. Compared to the beauty of a Libra is more like beauty for beauty's sake. And it's all very flowery, and they tart things up very well. But Taurus, their eye of beauty is if it's efficient, and it's sort of a good, good skilled craft, you know. I thought it was interesting with Aries sounding like a hare. It's like Aries, and then a tortoise sounds a bit like Taurus. And the story of the hare and the tortoise is just Aries and Taurus. Like, you know, Aries will just be like all over the place, like and fucking about, you know, taking the piss at the end, like being really cocky, and you know, the hare falls asleep, the tortoise, you know, blitzes it in the end, like breaks the red ribbon or whatever. But yeah, if you want a job done, go to a Taurus. But only because, you know, Aries, they can stick to things, you know, but they prefer to test out everything. They want to try everything. They want to explore everything, you know, because of the newness of that time of day that Aries encapsulates the morning, you know, and the spring, and it's all about the newness. Compared to a Taurus, which it can take its time. I must tell you to bear in mind these. I'm talking on a archetypal sort of level of everyone has a very complex, unique astrology, and everyone has their own blend of different zodiacal characteristics. Reading in the newspaper, you look at your sun sign. The sun is a very strong character in astrology, but your moon sign is just as strong. So is your ascendant, but most people don't know their ascendants or moon signs and stuff. It's really cool if you do. But the moon signs are, just as strong, and when you learn about the moon signs, and just ascendants, just those things alone, or sometimes I've had this where I think someone's a Sagittarian, but then I find out they're not, but they have a Sagittarian ascendant. Because the sun and the ascendant, they are kind of similar energies. Because astrology is all about the harmonization of the spheres, these spinning giant balls of whatever they're made out of, gas and planet things. They're just made out of magic, and wherever they are, it's almost, I like how I guess the only analogy is like this: if you pretend that they're not just big giant balls and that they're the characters, in this Western tradition of astrology, because there's many types of astrology all around the world since ancient times. They all have their own different sort of take on it. The Vedic and the Western is pretty similar, really similar, compared to Chinese. That's a bit more removed, but the characteristics, an analogy to explain how planets and the zodiac and the house system work with theatre. The planets are the actors, and the zodiac sign is the costume, and the house is the stage scenery. I've got to chuck this one in because, with astrology, I guess I just have to keep on talking about it. If no one knows about it, there's only the deep end, or get involved. I don't know. I'll just keep on crapping on if people want to hear about astrology and stuff. So Taurus goes into Gemini. Twinkly eye Gemini. Gemini's primal air. Gemini is the genii. Like, from Taurus, we're in a body now. Like, from Aries, spirit, we're going to Taurus, matter, and now, what is the body made of? All life forms have DNA or genetics, and what DNA is, in essence, is intelligence. Like, I'm made out of DNA, and it makes me dream and think and talk crap. And this is DNA. And with Gemini, it's Gemini is like the number 2, but it's not the number 2. It's 2 pillars. Like, that's the symbol of it anyway. Like, it's the 2 pillars of the Temple of Learning. A lot of people relate it to Solomon's Temple. I think that's, quite legit. Like, Gemini is all about mental stimuli, such as like education. But as its primal air, it's not like really in depth, real sophisticated information. It's more it's just more I wasn't superficial. No, well, I don't know. I think Geminis could be a bit fickle, or no. Well, they really like kind of like mundane, like chatter. They really like talking. They really like networking. Geminis. Traditionally, it represents siblings, communication, I really like the parallel with these 3 signs and the tarot. Of the Magician, the first card, and the High Priestess, the second card. The Magician, the Sun, it's going into the Temple of Solomon in the High Priestess card. Like, Magician, the Sun, High Priestess, the Moon. Number 1 card is Spirit, and number 2 card is materialization, manifestation. And it's with Gemini, like the symbol of Gemini, the pillars of learning, it's like you enter physicality. Yeah. You work out that you're physical, and then you work out you got an intellect, and then you start talking about what you're experiencing, and it's this what DNA does with each other. They just kind of how DNA, but DNA interacts with each other, and just it starts talking or singing to each other, or or even Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I'm taking calls in. If anyone wants to call, I was thinking if anyone wants to call in, if they do or don't think that Jehoshaphat sounds like Watford, so yeah, call in and discuss if Jehoshaphat sounds like Watford. The number is for international calls +440161298028, and inside the UK it's the same without the fours. I mean 0161298298298. Yeah. I'm interested with just this side of the zodiac, and if we look at the symbology of the Knights Templar and the Order of the Garter, if we look at the symbology of medieval knighthood orders, Order of the Garter is St. George and the Dragon. St. George is a, patron saint of the country. We have his flag. He's the most acclaimed military martyr saint of all time. And he's blessed, or, he's worshipped, or he's inspired, many people in many nations throughout history. The English, they kind of adopted St. George through the Crusades. English kings went to the East and came back inspired, influencing the country with new mythologies and even chivalry. Like, they brought back customs from afar, like looking after women, I was the St. George and the Dragon. George, Geo urge. Geo is earth, urge is like energy, force, and George just means like earth worker. I think it kind of gives me the feeling like hard work or earth energy or Kundalini, I don't know, or just a natural energy. It's natural energy. But he's always the good guy, you know, against the fucking ugly, scary-looking dragon, you know. And the dragon, draconic, the word, it's not too old, but the Draco, who was an old Greek lawmaker, he was the first lawmaker in Athens, and, you know, it was capital punishment, and so it's tyrannical, like it's always been associated with tyranny, or harsh rule, and draconic just means that, just means a tyrant. The dragon, there is a rumor these days that the queen's a reptile. I think it's really, like, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. I mean, she's still doing what she's doing. You know, it doesn't really matter. But, it was hilarious. It made my world, like, really magical. Yeah, it's hilarious, really. But, it's really poetic. Like, she does have a cold heart to do what she does. It's her 60th anniversary on the throne. I saw her on the front page of Hello magazine today, and she's sitting on her throne, wearing a freaking huge necklace, and on the necklace it had St. George and the Dragon on the bottom. She's just gold everywhere, red and gold. She's sitting on a, like, really nice gold chair, with a giant gold jewel encrusted sword next to her. But on the chair, it has the Order of the Garter's, like, motto in medieval French. Translated, if no one knows, it translates to "Shame on you who think evil of it." I think that's really cool. Like, she's sitting there like the Whore of Babylon, you know, just draped in red and gold and jewels, and on her chair it says "Shame on you who think evil of it." But in all honesty, like, this is where they catch us, because, well, they are a military family, and they are trying to get us fighting their in their blood sports. They just want to have fun. I guess it's fun for them. Like, in the past, it was quite silly. You know, the French were in red, were in blue, and the British were in red, and you know, before the days of camouflage, like, it's especially finding out when all the kings and queens on the continent are all part of the Order of Garter, and whenever there was a war, you know, they're still hanging out together. Like, they're like, yeah, like they're mates and stuff. Like, that we're, we've been, they have to persuade us into fighting, especially, you know, in modern day, conscription or, what's it, national service or whatever? Not that. But we have, like, video games and, I'm convinced that the, the media are, you know, trying to dumb down people. This lad culture is heavily promoted on the television. You know, you got Dave, or watch Cars with Dave, and there's a pub quiz with bloody Stephen Fry that you I think, yeah. Um, it's within the words like royalty. It's always been a tradition that the royals were second to God. Like, the Queen is still head of state. She's like second in command after God. So she's in charge. And anyone who's born within her reign is under her law. So when the spirit is born into matter, who owns that? Who owns the matter? Well, because Boniface wrote a papal a couple of 100 years ago, there is ownership over, like, the material world, and every object, or, you know, everything that you own. Well, you don't. Your name is in block capitals. I'm convinced that's like some trippy numerology stuff. Yeah. To be born into the physical from, like, spirit, going into the physical, how it's been orchestrated, how information has been get filtered, like, information has been filtered. I believe it is the ruling classes, the royals, who dictate fashions to you know, persuade. I guess, you know, there's no real they're dictating fashions, just like, you know, let's say the education system, how was created quite a while ago. That kind of system structure of how we do classrooms with tests and stuff. You know, can we think of a better way of doing it? But looking at history, how information has been put into the mainstream, I think it's been controlled, as if there have been people with sophisticated technology for thousands of years, but keep it quiet, because it's to make the experiment work. So being born into physical matter, we've got to learn about physicality. This is, you know, fundamentally existence on this planet. You know, there's, like, I was babysitting yesterday, a 1-year-old, and yeah, he's catching on, and there's a lot to learn. I don't know if it'd take one lifetime alone to learn everything and get the frickin' knack of living on planet Earth. The people that have, like, what I've observed with what information is out there, I feel is quite
things, yes, lots and lots of different things. There's chat, there's music, diversity, an occasional argument, you know, for the warmongers.
I have to channel the spirit. Alright, let's see here.
This is not our radio. This is your radio. Darkcity Radio.
Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. So if you want the truth, go to
Darkcity Radio.
God damn it!
Radio.
Hi, it's Rupert, and when my homosexual tendencies are at their height, I like to listen to the Dark City, because Barbara makes me feel pretty.
Tune in, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Dark City Radio. Every evening, every afternoon, every morning, in fact, every moment of every day, there is chat, laughter, music, and excitement like you wouldn't believe on
Darkcity Radio.
And he did this all on a waiter's salary, which practically nothing after taxes and drugs. I have to channel the spirit.